What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Kangaroo Black, coming back once again with another game preview and score prediction. The South Carolina Gamecocks versus the Tennessee Volunteers. And guess what? South Carolina got to go into Neyland Stadium and try to pull out this victory. And that just might present a challenge to the South Carolina Gamecocks, all right? But let's go ahead and get into the video and start out by talking about South Carolina, Shane Beamer. All right, they coming into this game 2-2, 1-1 in the conference. Okay, they just beat Mississippi State last weekend. I believe it was 37-30. They also got a win over Furman, but their two losses is two respectable losses in game one against North Carolina, and then just the other week against the Georgia Bulldogs. But the first half, they was putting it on Georgia. Went into the half with a 14-3 lead, but after the half, everything fell apart for them, and Georgia put everything together, and they wind up losing 24-10, I believe. But anyway, this week they got to go to Neyland Stadium to take on these Tennessee Volunteers. All right, Spencer Rattler, can he get it done? That remains to be seen. But I tell you what, at times Spencer Rattler has played out of his mind against some great opponents, like last season against Tennessee. Put up 63 points on them. That's all I know. 63 on them, and then wind up beating Clemson also. So we'll see how it fares out this season in Neyland Stadium, because you know the Gamecocks, they was at home in the cockpit last season. But anyway, let's talk about these Gamecocks. Their offense is averaging 415 yards of total offense per game, 340 yards passing, 76 yards rushing. So their offense is surrounded around the passing game. All right, defensively, they're giving up 434 yards on defense per game. So they're giving up more than they're averaging on offense. That is not good. And I will continue to say, you won't win many games like that. They are giving up 317 yards passing per game and 117 yards rushing per game. They need to get both of those numbers down. Okay? So we'll see what happens in this game. Can Tennessee will they give up that many yards through the air and on the ground to Tennessee? That remains to be seen. But anyway, Spencer Rattler, he's already thrown for over 1,200 yards this season, 7 touchdowns to 2 interceptions. And like I say, Spencer Rattler, he can come up big in games. Done seen it happen. But then again, he can come up small in games too. So, but anyway, even the backup quarterback, he done thrown 2 touchdowns. I'm sure that was in garbage time, because there's no reason for Spencer Rattler to be sitting out games because he's not injured or anything like that. So I'm sure that was in garbage time. Also, the running backs, DeCarrion Joyner, he's got 4 touchdowns on the ground, on only 99 yards. These running backs ain't did too much during the season. You know, I don't think they're called upon a lot. Anyway, because they pass more than they run. So it is what it is. Mario Anderson, he got 129 yards and a touchdown on the ground. Spencer Rattler, he didn't chip in with 64 yards and a touchdown. All right, Juju McDowell got a touchdown rushing. But as far as the wide receivers, Xavier Leggett, he's their go-to guy. He's got 556 yards receiving and 3 touchdowns. So that's the go-to guy, and I'm sure this Tennessee defense is going to be looking for him, and I'm sure the corner that's covering will have help over the top against this guy. All right, then you got Luke Doty, 95 yards receiving, 3 touchdowns. All right, so 95 yards and 1 touchdown. He only got 1. Then you got Trey Knox, 113 yards and a touchdown. So everybody the other receivers only got 1 touchdown, besides Xavier Lovett with 3. Omega Beatty only got 1 touchdown, 106 yards. Tashawn Russell, 70 yards and a touchdown. And Nick Harbor, 7 receptions and a touchdown. So, hey, I think this offense for South Carolina, I think they can get it done. against the Tennessee defense, all right? I think they can. I don't think Tennessee defense is much better than it was last season. Even though they beat us, that's fine, and then it's in the past now. But I do distinctly remember those South Carolina Gamecocks putting 63 points on these Tennessee Volunteers last season in the cockpit. But like I said, that is in the past, all right? Let's talk about these Tennessee Volunteers who is coming in to this game 3-1, all right? Under Coach Josh Heupel, who had a high-powered offense last season. But I tell you what, that offense has suffered a major drop-off. I tried to tell them, those Tennessee fans, they don't have a Hendon Hooker no more. And I tried to tell them all off season about this damn Joe Milton. It was a reason why he was benched at both schools. Just letting you know. It was a reason why he was riding the pine for 4 or 5 years. I told them. I tried to tell them. And now they see it. But anyway, like I said, they coming into the season 3-1. Okay? And they coming into the season 0-1 in the conference. And who did they lose to? Those Florida Gators. I picked them to beat the Florida Gators, but it didn't happen. They couldn't get the job done. And guess what? I was wrong, but I wasn't sad about it. But anyway, and let me tell you, they lost to Florida 29-16. And Florida really beat them worse than that. The score didn't don't tell the whole story, but in that first half, Florida was putting a clinic on them. I mean, a clinic in the first half. But anyway, they went down to the swamp, got that ass tore out the frame, got that ass mollywop, and guess what? They still haven't won in the swamp since 2003. Oh Lord, poor Volunteers. But anyway, let me tell you about the opponents that they beat. Virginia. They beat Virginia, all right? They was high about that win because guess what? Their first win was a Power 5 program. Well, guess what? Virginia is a complete debacle, bottom of the barrel in the ACC. As of right now, I believe they last in the ACC. I'm telling you, they 0-4. So that was nothing to celebrate. I told them that too. And then, very next week, they beat up on little old Austin P, which everybody beat up on Austin P, but that's all right. They even terrible in their own little conference, wherever the fuck they from. But anyway, then last week, they beat up on UTSA. And guess what UTSA is? 1-3. So besides Florida, the 3 other opponents that they played and that they won, combined, those 3 opponents are 3-9 through 4 games. And them the teams that those Tennessee Volunteers and old Coach Heupel have beaten right now. Nobody of any substance. I can tell you that right now. But that's neither here nor there. We just want to talk about this game now that I done got all of that out. But anyway, Tennessee Volunteers, all right. This offense is averaging 463 yards of total offense per game. 234 through the air, 229 on the ground. Now, if you notice, that's a drop-off in that passing game from last season when they had Hendon Hooker, Cedric Tillman, and Jalen Hyatt. All of them are gone now. And you can tell, and you can see it. All right, defensively, they're only giving up 302 yards. So they in the plus category as far as gaining more than what they are giving up on the defense. They're averaging 161 points more than what the defense is giving off. And that is great. You can win games that way against inferior opponents, I can tell you. Okay, but anyway. And then defensively, they're giving up 190 yards passing and 111 yards rushing. Will they give up more than 190 yards to Spencer Rattler in these Gamecocks? I believe they will. But, hey, that's neither here nor there. That's just my opinion. Okay, then, Joe Milton. He's thrown for 925 yards, 8 touchdowns to only 1 interception. Great numbers. Great numbers. 8 touchdowns to 1 interception. That's a good number. All right. Then, as far as rushing, Jalen Wright, 312 yards, but 0 touchdowns. All right, he got 58 yards, you know, through the air. Still 0 touchdowns. Jabbar Small, 258 yards, 5 touchdowns. No, 258 yards, 1 touchdown rushing. That's all he got. Both of them. I mean, 1. He got 1. And these are their running backs. Jalen Wright, 0 touchdown. Jabbar Small, 0 touchdown. Dylan Sampson, 199 yards. He do got 5 touchdowns rushing and 1 touchdown through the air. So he's got a total of 6 touchdowns. Not bad. Joe Milton ran for 135 yards and got 4 touchdowns also. So he can get it done with his arms and his legs. Matter of fact, last week, UTSA, shit, he ran about 80 daggone yards. They say he reached like 23 miles per hour. He looked pretty dang, he was pretty dang fast. I seen that run. But anyway, inferior opponent. That's all I got to say. And I don't understand how Jalen Hyde and Jabbar Small only got 1 touchdown between them to, once again, inferior opponents. When they went up against somebody on the same level, those Florida Gators in the swamp, they got their ass tore off. But anyway, as far as receiving, Brew McCoy, 196 yards, 1 touchdown. Ramel Keaton, 205 yards, receiving, 3 touchdowns. McCallan Castle, 89 yards, 1 touchdown. Khalid Webb, 33 yards, a touchdown. And Jacob Warren, 28 yards and a touchdown. But anyway, then you got Squirrel White. He's not doing anything. He got 172 yards, 0 touchdowns. Boy, I tell you, this is supposed to be a high-powered offense. Well, it was last year, but they ain't got those same players from last year. And Henry Hooker ain't there. Hey, man, they done, like I said, this offense has taken a drastic measure back. As far as the defense, I didn't even talk about South Carolina's defense. Matter of fact, South Carolina defense really 4 interceptions, 1 fumble recovery, and 8 sacks on the season. So, hey, still not great numbers. Tennessee's defense, 3 interceptions, 2 fumble recoveries, 16 sacks. Okay, now remember, I believe it was South Carolina. They gave up 9 sacks in their first game to North Carolina. All right, I can't remember how many they gave up to Georgia, but they done gave up 16. Tennessee then got 16 sacks on the season. So they trying to get to the quarterback. Now Spencer Rattler, he is a mobile quarterback. All right, he can get out the pocket. He can run. He can make things happen with his arms when plays break down. All right, and hey, I can see him do that during this game too. But as I said, Tennessee, they got 16 sacks, but inferior opponents. I just want to remind you of that. Okay, do I need to go back through who they beat? Daggone. Who was it? They beat daggone Virginia. Terrible. Once again, Austin Peay and UTSA. Okay, so you have to take that into account. I know you can't tell a Tennessee fan that, but you got to take it into account. So anyway, but like I say, when you came up to play against somebody in your league, got that ass tore off. But anyway, will that happen this game? I believe it will. So therefore, I'm going with South Carolina to win this game. And yes, you might find it as a surprise. I'm going with South Carolina to go into Neyland Stadium and leave with a win. Yes, I am. And it's going to be a whole lot of pissed off Tennessee fans probably throwing more mustard bottles and golf balls and every damn thing else. And what they're going to be throwing is a damn fit. That's what they're going to be throwing, because they're going to be pissed the hell off when Spencer Rattler and Shane Beamer go into Neyland Stadium and get a win. And I'm picking, like I said, I'm picking South Carolina to win this game. And I'm going with South Carolina 24, Tennessee 17. Because guess what? Joe Milton is not Henry Hooker. All right. Brew McCoy is not Cedric Tillman. All right. And Squirrel White, okay, he is not Jalen Hyatt. So your offense is mediocre at best. At best. And your defense, it ain't no better. That's all I got to say, Mr. Tennessee. Volunteers. And guess what? You can wear all the damn uniforms you want. It ain't going to make no difference. Because guess what? You will not win 10 games this season like you won last season. You can bet your bottom dollar on that. Roll damn tide.